Sometimes in the spiritual community, I see posts around this concept of your spirit guides, angels, your higher self. They can't really help you unless you specifically ask for it because they can't interfere with your free will. And I think there's a little bit more nuance when it comes to this conversation. And so I want to talk about free will when it comes to working with your spirit guides, higher self, ancestors, etc. And also the concept of awareness and its importance on the spiritual journey and path, and its importance in terms of you being able to heal what you need to heal and manifest the things that you need to manifest or want to manifest. Because when we operate from this idea that guides can only help us if we ask for it, then it can create some confusion on our path. And sometimes it can get us stuck in cycles, wondering why we're stuck in those cycles. And I just feel like it can really help smooth the path when you understand some of these concepts a little bit more clearly. So when it comes to your guides helping you, there's this idea that you have to ask for it. Again, because they can't interfere with your free will. Yet there's a lot of things that happen to us and a lot of things that happen for us that we didn't consciously ask for. So why in those situations did we not have to ask for something? Why in those situations did things happen to us or for us without our free will? Yet when it's something that we consciously are asking for, suddenly we have to ask via our free will. Now, one of the reasons why things can happen to us or for us without our conscious asking is because of past life things that are now impacting our life currently, because energy does kind of follow us life to life. Or it can be things that we were asking kind of consciously, but not fully consciously. So sometimes that can happen. But when things are not happening for us, it's not necessarily because our guides don't want to help us or that they need us to ask them, that we need to give our free will request to them. A lot of times when we're not able to move past something or we find ourselves in a stuck cycle, it's because, again, not because our guides are saying we gotta wait, it's because we have to have a certain level of awareness of what we need to ask for, of what we need to bring in, of what we need to heal. Because until we have that awareness, even if our guides, ancestors, higher selves were to step in and help us, because that thing is so deep, ergo we have these repeating patterns, these repeating cycles that we can't get out of. It's something that's very deep and very important for us, so it keeps repeating until we can do something different. Because it's so deep, we need to be aware of what it is that we're doing. It's important, so we need awareness on what's important. And so what is awareness? And why is that important in terms of being able to manifest? So if we don't have the awareness of what we need to heal, we could receive the healing from our spirit guides, and likely you are receiving some of that healing from them, even though you're not asking. They're doing whatever they can in the background until you come into awareness. So they're actually helping you this whole time. But if we were to get the full healing from them, we wouldn't really know the benefits of that. We wouldn't really be able to integrate the lessons of that. We wouldn't even know that it was necessarily happening for us. So I'll give you an example. If you, let's say, received healing for a cold, or let's say you had a serious illness and you started receiving healing for it, but you don't even know you have an illness. You're just receiving the healing for it. One, you wouldn't even notice that anything was changing because you didn't even know that you needed it yet. And two, whatever habits you would need to change to get yourself out of the pattern, you wouldn't even know that you need to change. You don't even know what those changes would need to be because you don't know what the pattern is, what the illness is that you're trying to fix. And so the awareness is very important because when you're aware that you have an illness or that you are sick, then you know to ask for a very specific kind of healing, a very specific kind of medicine. And when you know that you have this illness and then you receive the medicine from it, you, one, understand that your guides were helping you. So you are aware that they were a part, in this analogy, that you're aware that someone was helping you. And two, you know, okay, you know what? When like this illness, maybe is related to, XYZ. And so now I know that I'm going to be changing my diet so that I do not trigger XYZ. And now you can operate from a very different pattern than you ever have before, and you get yourself out of this kind of stuck energy. So let's take this into maybe more of a life area example. Medicine is life, but like a personal inner world kind of area. Maybe you are in a lot of relationships and you keep kind of cycling through them and you don't know why that is happening. You don't know what to ask for. You keep asking for a partner that's more available, or you keep asking for a partner that's kinder, or a partner that's more supportive. And so that's what you think that you're asking for, because you're not yet aware that maybe something inside of you tends to put yourself second. You tend to share or feel like whatever you have to say is less important than a partner's. What your dreams are less important than a partner's. What your timeline for something is less important than your partner's timeline for that thing. And so you may be going along thinking that you're okay with it, and maybe you are okay with it. But really, the lesson that needs to be learned is that you need to advocate for yourself. You need to see yourself as equally worthy. And only then can you move on to the next stage of a relationship, because only then can you be successful in it. Only then will you continue to advocate for yourself. Only then will you be able to survive and thrive, or rather thrive, not just survive. And so you're asking for, I want more available people, I want more supportive people, because you're not yet aware that really what you want is inner strength. Really, that's what you need. And when you have that, then you don't need to ask for more supportive people. You don't need to ask for more available people. Only the ones that are available will gravitate towards you, and or anyone that's unavailable because they're not putting you first or equally, you just won't be interested in them anymore, because you have completely shifted your mentality, your pattern, what you're looking for, the energy that you own. All of that has now shifted. So this is why awareness is really key. You can't heal what's happening in the relationship if you're not yet aware of what the actual healing that is needed. What is the root that actually needs to be addressed here? Okay, so then the question is, all right, awareness. Awareness is important. It's part of the spiritual journey. For anything that's important, anything that's big, I need to be aware of what I actually need to heal, what I actually need to ask for. So how do I become aware? Okay, so the easiest way, which you may consider the hardest way, but it's actually the easiest way, is to simply ask your higher self and your guides. Ask them for help. Just say, higher self, guides, please help me to be aware of what it is that I need to heal, what it is that I need to be asking for, what it is that I need to see so that I can leave this pattern that I'm in. And that's all you have to do. And you may get answers immediately, and it may just be like boop, and you know exactly what it is. You may get feelings, you may get colors, you may get blurry images, you may get very clear images. You may feel like you're getting absolutely nothing at all. You just simply sit and you ask, higher self, please bring me into awareness of what it is that I need to be aware of here, so that I can move on, so that I can move to the next level, so that I can evolve, so I can bring in something different. Please show me. You just sit there and you ask. And you just do that for a few minutes. And if you don't get anything, know that you are absolutely getting so much. So much. You're just not consciously aware of it. It's happening in your subconscious. So you just sit there and you just soak it up. And you just decide, yep, I'm receiving it. I can feel it. I receive it. I know what it is. I'm clear. That's it. You just soak up that love. And within a few days, you will get something, some thread, some inkling. It will show up in some way. Somebody will point out something about you. You'll watch a show that you weren't expecting to watch, and you'll see an interaction between characters, and you'll be like, huh, you know what? That kind of makes me think of me. So it'll come up in different ways. A phrase in a song, watching your puppy, do something and be like, my dog never, ever, ever, like, lets anything get him down for very long. He always finds a center. I need to find my center. I need to always have my process where when I'm off my center, that is okay, and I can come back and find it. And from that place, I proceed. Maybe that's the lesson. So that's all you have to do. Now, a lot of people find this hard because they think that they're not receiving something. They think that they have to know their guide's name. They have to be able to completely visualize their guide or their higher self. They have to be initiated. They have to, be in an emotionally wonderful place first before they can receive guidance. There's all these different kinds of mentalities that I think people read about and then take on as true, but are not necessarily true, that clog up your ability to know that you are always receiving, or you feel like it has to be a download, it has to be exact words, it has to be a vision. It can't just be the universe showing me signs through reality. Your spirit guides are actually always talking to you 24/7. They're always everything. Everything contains information. It does not have to be in here, and it is no less if you're seeing it out there. If someone's saying something to you, it's no less that it comes that way than coming straight through your mind. I get it in all sorts of ways, and all of those ways are beautiful, and it changes up every time. Sometimes it's direct downloads, sometimes it's through words, sometimes it's through like an idea that just pops in my head days later. So it's no less. Now, this is something that you can do right now just by sitting here. But if you would like additional guidance where we work through every single block that you probably have when it comes to connecting to your guides, and we go through some very, very simple, very easy exercises you can do to really strengthen this muscle, then I invite you to join my Meet Your Spirit Guides course. It is available through my website on Udemy. So if you go to spiritualactivationacademy.com, you will find under Next Level, there'll be the Meet Your Spirit Guides course. You can go on Udemy. It's very, very highly rated. I think it's got like a 4.8, and I've got like 700 different learners. I think actually I've got 900 different students across all of my courses on Udemy. So it will definitely support you and help you on that journey if you feel like you need it. And aside from that, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover with you. If you would like to actually try another way to connect to your higher self and understand what it is that you need to bring that awareness, you can actually go watch my Stalker Cards video that I just posted right before this one. And in that one, at the end, I show how you can work with cards to help get you out of a cycle, to help get you unstuck, that involves working with your higher self and asking for that information. And it goes a little bit deeper into that awareness portion if you were interested in that as well. All right, I'll leave it here. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.